from the website naturallivingalchemy.ca. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to show you how you can make your own aura spray. Today, I'd like to talk to you about hygiene, specifically though, psychic energy hygiene. But don't worry, you don't even have to be a psychic to be able to do this practice. And I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite products that I use called aura sprays. What is psychic energy hygiene? What does that phrase even mean? Well, like I said, this has nothing to do with being a psychic. You don't have to have abilities like clairvoyance, which is clear vision, or clairsentience, which is clear feeling. But rather, this is about maintaining and resetting, if need be, a clear energy field around you. You see, whether we realize it or not, we are walking around like little sponges, just picking up on all of the energy around us. And this is just something that we do that is so natural, just like the breath that you take or the beating of your heart. So within your energy field, you are actually having a total of 5 different bodies. Okay? So you have the physical body. We see that. We know about that, right? But you also have an etheric body, you have an emotional body, you have a mental body, and you have a spiritual body. Okay? And I can definitely go into more detail about any of those in another video. So definitely just leave me a comment below if that is something that you are interested in. But basically speaking, at any given time, in any interaction, we actually have the potential to be picking up something on any of those layers, right? So the simplest way that you could think about how this manifests is when you get a cold. Okay, your physical body has picked up something and then you get sick. Here's the thing, separation is a lie, okay? There is no difference actually in between these bodies. The difference is in how we are choosing to observe them. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to give you an example. Have you ever been in a room with somebody who is just in a bad mood? And then next thing you know, lo and behold, you suddenly came down with the same bad mood. Well, what may have happened is you picked up on something in their energy field and you took it as your own. So remember when I mentioned we're just psychic sponges that are just picking up information, otherwise known as energy, from our surroundings? Well, sometimes we can pick up another person's perceived bad mood so that we actually can help them transmute it. For example, there are other reasons, but that's just one. And from what I observed, the why that we're picking them up doesn't matter. And sometimes the why is actually beyond our very limited understanding. So there is so much more going on than we realize, but we can talk about that more in another day. So if all we're doing is running around picking up on other people's stuff, what can we actually do about it? Well, one option might to just be avoiding people, and you could stay pure in your own energy field. However, this might not work for a long-term practice because everything you see before you is made up of the same consciousness, the same energetic map and blueprint of creation. Okay? What does that mean? Well, simply put, whatever you see before you is just another version of you. So the way that I like to look at it, and feel free to share this opinion if you would like, and if it feels good for you, but anything that I see before me is just another version of me experiencing a different viewpoint. And that doesn't make one viewpoint right or wrong. It's just different because we all came here to experience something within our soul's expansion and evolution. Okay, so if we're just out there running around like little sponges, just picking up on everybody else's stuff, and we've determined avoidance is just going to prolong the inevitable, what can we actually do? Well, we could use something like this handy little tool, which is an aura spray. It is something that you can use to energetically cleanse your energy field. And because we're going to be working with plant allies, you can completely customize this recipe to have the properties that you are looking for. Okay. Another thing that you can do before I get into the details of the recipe itself is you could add crystals into your bottle. You could make sure, though, that you are using crystals that can be in water, like something from the quartz family, for example. There are quite a few crystals like selenite. Really, anything that I've found that ends in ITE, generally not a water safe crystal because it could potentially disintegrate. So you're just going to need to do your research. If there's a certain crystal that you are feeling called to add into your spray, that it's going to be safe to do so and that it's not going to disintegrate on you. So when using your spray, one thing to think about is to think outside the box. You can not only use this to cleanse your own energy field, your own energetic bodies, but you can use it to clean the energy of a room or clear the energy out of your divination tools or even your crystals. Whatever you want to do or you're feeling called to use this, do it. Okay? We're going to follow our intuition. No matter how odd it may seem, you're getting those messages for a reason. So we could sit here asking why, or we could just follow the instructions. See what happens then. So before we go into the actual recipe, I need to share my disclaimer for YouTube. I am not a doctor. None of what I share on this channel is medical advice. It is up to you to do your due diligence to talk to your doctor or pharmacist before adding anything into your healing regimen. And the information shared in these videos is for educational and informational purposes only. Okay, now that we've got all that out of the way, how do you actually make it? So for my aura spray that I'm going to be making today, I'm going to be using a sage essential oil. So sage has some amazing properties that I really just want to tap into. Sage is considered to be masculine in energy. It is represented by the element of air, ruled by the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius. So medicinally, sage has been an excellent digestive aid, and it can even help with memory. I've been using a sage tincture myself just to see what the different effects in my body are from this plant. And I can tell you with my limited internal use, I am feeling more clear. I am feeling more focused. I am feeling less brain fog. So it's been a really nice plant to work with in that way. However, back to our video today. So at one time, sage was actually considered a cure-all for a wide variety of different illnesses. You could take sage and infuse it into a raw honey, and make like a natural cough syrup, for example. Those are the medicinal properties that we could be tapping into. Some of them, there's more. But what about magical properties? Plants all have them, and sage has a magical property, an energetic property that is cleansing and grounding. Just look to our indigenous people who have been using sage for eons in their smudging practice. And because that's actually what I'm going to be making today in my spray, one term that is coming to mind is cultural appropriation, meaning that there's a belief out there that unless you are of indigenous roots, you can't do things like smudge. I am going to tell you that's not correct. Now, I am a Métis person, but that doesn't even matter because here's the thing. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Plants do not see us as different from them. Okay? They do not see race. They do not know any religious creeds or doctrines. They see us as equals. And it's time that we see them in that same light because we are made up of these same elements after all. So what is needed is respect and reverence towards the plants themselves and equally to the people that honor and revere them. So that would mean that when you're forging your own herbs, you never take more than you need. You leave enough medicine for the next person and for that plant to survive. Practicing respectful foraging habits and practices if you plan on gathering yourself. Do that. That is how you can respect and revere not only the people that use the plant, but the plant itself. And if you're just sourcing your herbs and your plant material, make sure that you are exercising sustainable and ethical harvesting practices within the companies that you are purchasing your herbs from. Okay, enough of that. So, when are you going to use this spray? Well, you can use this spray for a multitude of things. You could use it before doing yoga. You could do it before meditating, before you're doing Reiki or some other type of healing session or healing work, before any ritual you want to do or any spell work, if that's where your practice takes you, before or after any divination sessions, before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, after you've had a hard conversation or an argument. Anytime you're feeling sad, angry, heavy, anxious, depressed, okay? Or anytime you just aren't feeling grounded, or my favorite, anytime you're intuitively called to use it. Okay, so now that I've covered all of the information that I would like to share with you, and I will have a full written blog article linked in the description box below that just kind of summarizes everything that I just talked about, because I did share quite a bit. So what we're going to do is you need to find a spray bottle. Okay, I like these little 2-ounce ones. Now, this is optional. I just like to do it because, well, I just like to. So I like to take an actual piece of the plant that I'm going to be using, or two. Put these ones in. Okay. Now, like I said before, if you wanted, this would be a time you could put a couple crystals in the bottom, something along those lines. But like I said, I just have a couple of these dried sage leaves. And then to that, I'm going to put in 1/2 ounce of witch hazel. You could also use vodka if you wanted, but I actually just like the scent that witch hazel adds, and it makes me feel grounded just when I smell it. So I'm going to put it in my grounding spray, which is essentially what this one is going to be. Okay. So next, we are going to put in 10 to 15 drops of your essential oil. Like I said, I'm going to be using sage, but you can use whatever ones that you want. Now, you're going to add enough water just so the jar is full. Oops. Okay. Then, okay, so after you put your lid on, we're going to label what we have. I know in the one that I've been showing you, I didn't have labeled. This is just a different little recipe that I was trying out. But anyway, yeah, so I have my sage smudge spray, or you can just call it an aura spray, whatever you want. I like the word smudge personally. So after you have all your stuff mixed in, you're just going to shake it up. I like to give it a little shake before I use it every time, but that's just something I do. So then all you're going to do is you're just going to spray it. There we go. Just kind of around your aura, just around your energy field. Okay. Now, I like the number 3 for the sprays that I do, but you can spray as many pumps as you want. But that's it. That's how simple it is to use and make an aura spray. So stay tuned to the next video because I am going to show you how you can take this infusion to the next level. So comment down below and let me know what aura spray you are going to make and why are you feeling called to make that one. Don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with anybody who you might feel would benefit from it, or at least enjoy it. And I would like to thank you for spending this time with me. And until next time, may you find peace wherever you are.